54-week high. So I would really expect the stock to, move to 200 plus levels to around 210. So I don't see any concern there. Coming to Tata Steel, once again, I think a very high beta play. It's this, this steel as a sector is something that you should have. So, perhaps it's obviously it's not doing well now, the way markets are. But I think, when you see that cycle turn, you will see the stock going back to 700. That's my expectation. They bounce back also equally fast. So I would continue to stay invested in Tata Steel. And coming to M&M, I think we saw a very good set of numbers from there. And I think this is one of the dynamic companies that we have. They have a lot of plans on anvil. We'll have to give them a couple of years if we really want to see all that unfold. But I think even from here, just given on, based on the kind of numbers that they gave us, we can expect a target of around 760 on the stock.
Okay, so Mr. Mani, Sharmila is clearly optimistic about the future of the first three picks. But Sharmila, what about the next bunch? A Colgate, a Castrol, as well as a Pidilite?
Oh, once again, I think, we spoke of Castrol a little while earlier. There was a query on that. I think it's a good company. It's a single product company. So, it's not, it's not one of those companies that you're going to see really, fabulous returns from. But, it's one of those steadily growing kind of companies with a very solid business model. So I think that continues to be a hold for me. Similarly, Pidilite, I think, it's represents a really good product, and also the fact that, I think that a stock like a Pidilite also, to my mind is a proxy to the real estate, because, when you, I wouldn't really, for instance, recommend a real estate stock, but, I think a paint company or something like a Pidilite or, something in laminates or something in housing finance is something that I would look at. So I think Pidilite I continue to like. I think I would hold this, and I expect a target of around 185 on this. Coming to Cummins, again, I think a good company. We did see some kind of upheaval in the stock because of, some kind of news from how their US business was going to do. But I think that's all behind it now. Good set of numbers. I would continue to be invested. I would expect a target of around 570 on this.
Okay, so let's take it to the problem bunch, because Mr. Mani, so far so good, but Sesa Goa is where he's feeling the pinch. Infosys as well as Siemens. Sharmila, what should he do with these three?
Sesa Goa, I think, is going to be a very interesting stock, and I think obviously he's an investor with a lot of patience, because, now we are going to have Sterlite merging with it, and it's going to be a whole new entity. Yes, I think there are problems because, of the kind of, with just Sesa Goa the way it is just now, because of, the fact that the issues that we've had with iron ore, and I think it's all factored into the price. So I would give it a target of 220 in the near term. But I think if he has the patience and the wherewithal, which I think he does, then I think he should see the entire story play out, where Sterlite gets merged into Sesa Goa and the new entity Sesa Sterlite. It really represents a lot in terms of the metal play as well as the iron ore and all the metals that it will represent and the market share that it will have. I think definitely stay invested in that. Coming to Infosys, again, I think going through a rough patch, they've given a bad guidance, and in that sense, it's a little surprising because the other companies within, in the peer space have done well. So it's a little surprising. So I think the stock is going to take time to recover. In the near term, I don't see it crossing 2,400. But once again, I think, if you give it a couple of quarters and if you start seeing things improving in the US, then you could see Infosys back on a winning track. I think his buying price is 2,900. So what I would recommend here is that if you see the drawdowns, maybe you could think to average, or maybe if you want, if you're absolutely disappointed, then switch to another name within the IT space. Maybe you could switch to a TCS, or maybe you could switch to HCL Tech. Coming to Siemens, once again, I think I'm positive here. Similarly, as I said for Cummins, I think, these companies within the capital goods space and who are supplying power equipments or have, those kind of projects, they are going through a bad patch. And once again here, I think, you did have some amount of concern even coming from the parent company. But once again, I think here if things kind of get back on track and you start seeing improved numbers, then you could see a target of 850 on this.
Right. Now, Sharmila, there are a couple of names that Mr. Mani has identified for future investments. A Mercator Alliance, that's a counter that he wants to buy a hefty quantity of, as well as a Procter & Gamble. Do you think those are good buys?
Mercator Alliance, certainly not. I think that Mercator Alliance, I think, you're once again getting into a space where, in terms of business model and the kind of vagaries of the business and so on and so forth. So, if your whole portfolio is screaming blue chip, why do you want to go to a Mercator Alliance? So, that would be my simple logic. It just doesn't fit in with the the pedigree of names that you have earlier. Procter & Gamble does, but my concern with Procter & Gamble is that probably it doesn't really have a very diverse portfolio in that sense. And while the portfolio is good, I think again it's getting a good valuation. So if you had to be in FMCG, and I think it's a good idea to be in FMCG, he already has one stock within that space, that is Colgate. So maybe what he could look to do is maybe even get rid of Colgate and just have one stock. So either have an HUL or an ITC. According to me, I think HUL would be a personal favorite, but I leave that to him. Or in fact, as I said earlier, don't get into any more FMCG. Look at a new sector altogether. Why not look at banking?
Okay, that's the advice on your overall portfolio, and it seems like things are pretty much in order for you. So, Mr. Mani, here are the recommendations. Hold on to Ambuja Cements with a target of 210. Tata Steel is a hold, upside 700. M&M's a good stock with an upside target of 760. In the FMCG space, Colgate will be a hold with an upside of 1300. Hold on to Castrol, upside of 610. Pidilite is a hold with a target of 185. Cummins India, hold on to that, look for levels of 570. Sesa Goa, you can remain in that investment with an upside target of 220. Infi, you can hold, perhaps switch to TCS if you like. It's a target of 2,400. And finally, Siemens, you can retain that investment, look out for a level of 850. As far as the new buys are concerned, Market Alliance is a clear no-no, so is Procter & Gamble. Instead, you can look to diversify into banking or buy Unilever with an upside level of 530. Okay, time for us to then take a quick disclaimer on the show that the portfolio that's been recommended here, it's a model portfolio, so please consult your individual investment advisors before taking any positions. Time for a quick break right here on Buy Now Sell Now Weekend. On the other side, we will get you Sandeep Bagle as well as Sharmila Joshi's top picks.
मारा तो डरना क्या थोड़ा हीरो बना तो डरना क्या ओ ग्लैमर ही है कोई चोरी नहीं है जरा फिल्मी बना तो डरना क्या
We don't just help you invest your money. At Nirmal Bank, it's a relationship beyond broking.
Would you like to spend the rest of your life doing what you love most? I know you've been asked this in the past, but I really want you to think about it. What is your goal? Freedom? Passion? It's okay, I don't need to have an ambition. Do you have enough set aside in the bank? Isn't it time you began following your dreams?
Brought to you by Hero Maestro, such a boy thing. Cola.
Will India hit the gold rush this Olympics? Hero presents Quest for Gold. Get daily updates on the London 2012 Olympics from 27th July to 12th August exclusively on ET Now.
Presented by Hero. Hum mein hai Hero.
What RBI is very concerned today is what is being done to structurally bring down the inflation. As they see the government and the various other entities reacting to bring down the inflation on a structural basis, I think their focus will shift to growth.
Find out Amitabh Mohanty's winning strategies on Meet Your Fund Manager, only on ET Now.
Brought to you by Standard Chartered Bank, Year 4 Good. The all-new BMW 3 Series, superior by evolution.
Thanks very much for staying on with us on BNSN Weekend. Well, of course, this is a show which empowers you with some fresh investment ideas for a long-term time horizon. So let's take it straight to Sandeep Wagle to find out what he's got for us. Sandeep.
I have a buy in Tata Coffee, target of 1100, stop loss of 930. The second buy idea is Oracle Financial Services, OFSS, target of 3150, stop loss of 2630. And both these ideas are for a few months, not for a few days.
Okay, two long ideas coming in from Sandeep on a Tata Coffee and an Oracle Financials. But Sharmila, what is it that you've spotted?
I've gone with two mid-caps. The first mid-cap is Satyam. We've overall seen the entire mid-cap IT space getting a kind of a re-rating. And most of them are trading at higher valuations now. And in fact, for the longest time, we spoke of the valuation gap between frontline and mid-cap. Now it's getting close. Satyam has delivered a very good set of numbers. And I think, it kind of indicates that they've put their problems behind them and they're ready to move on. So I think, this stock is also due for a re-rating. We have seen a run-up in the stock. But I would buy it with a target of 120, again with a 5 to 6 month kind of an horizon. The next stock is Escorts. We've had a very good set of numbers from Escorts. This I buy with a target of 85. We've seen that, as I said, that this quarter is typically a good quarter for Escorts, but, I think that the kind of improved performance that we've seen from Escorts is likely to continue. And it was a little unfortunate for the stock that because since it was in that list of stocks that got excluded from F&O, we saw a severe correction on the stock, and now I think it's, beginning to come back to its own. So probably it will take some time to settle down, but I think the numbers as well as the valuations warrant that the stock should move up back and go up to a level of 85.
Well, there you have it. Those are some of the stocks that you can watch for. Sharmila as well as Sandeep, it's been a pleasure having you with us on the show. Thanks very much for joining in. But that's all the time we have right here on Buy Now, Sell Now Weekend. From Megha and me and everyone that put the show together, thanks for watching.
What RBI is very concerned today is what is being done to structurally bring down the inflation. As they see the government and the various other entities reacting to bring down the inflation on a structural basis, I think their focus will shift to growth.
Find out Amitabh Mohanty's winning strategies on Meet Your Fund Manager, only on ET Now.
Brought to you by Standard Chartered Bank, Year 4 Good. The all-new BMW 3 Series, superior by evolution.
Once upon a time, a thirsty crow decided to quench his thirst. But he just couldn't reach the water. Then he tried something smarter, and the crow reached his goal.
So Daddy, is thinking differently smarter?
Always, son.
Save smarter with recurring savings plan from Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
कुश्ती में एक ऐसा ही है कि वो अगले रेसलर को धोखा देके अटैक लगाना और मौके का फायदा उठाना. जो टेक्निक भी करनी है वो स्पीडली करनी है कंपटीशन के दौरान, क्योंकि स्पीड का लेवल बहुत अप होना चाहिए उस टाइम पे जो अच्छे टूर्नामेंट में जा रहे हो तो आप.
Slowdown, CIOs and IT heads need to skillfully balance costs along with customers' growth agenda. Presenting the CIO Summit, the global IT destination for technology leaders.
CFOs aren't sitting idly by. They're actively making decisions based on some of the macroeconomic financial trends.
A knowledge forum for CIOs to optimize their performance in the new macroeconomic environment, only on ET Now.
I never
never thought when I started, I just want to be with myself. When I stopped playing cricket, I said, just need time to myself. And this game, I really enjoyed because it was same thing. You're feeling, you're hitting the ball. It's like you're flying a kite without a thread, controlling the ball totally.
Catch Kapil Dev on Tea Time with Shaili Chopra. Only on ET Now.
Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S3, designed for humans. MTS Emblaze. Stay online. Surprise the world.
Hot Stocks, hot technical analysis. Catch Prakash Gaba and Deepak Mohani every weekday from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. only on ET Now. Always thinking markets.